Tonight, we're going to talk about the focus framework to getting lean, strong, sexy, and unlocking unlimited potential for success. Now, we think about, okay, we know that the goal is to be lean, or look lean, be strong, feel sexy, confident. But unlocking unlimited potential for success is not something we typically would say on the front end to people. Like, this is what high performance human is all about. And that's because there's levels in communication that you're going to have with us on the outside. Like, we're going to tell you, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And the party is in there. And then when you come in, we're going to start shifting things and changing how you think about things, how you think about yourself, what your outlook is. And we're going to create brand new programs to get you closer to what you say you want. And most of the time, 9 out of 10 people will say, I want to look lean, be strong, feel sexy. But when it comes to like unlocking unlimited potential for success, that's typically not something that people even feel like they could ever tap into. So we're going to go into that framework tonight. So we've talked about this a little bit. We've talked about, what if, world was a mirror, and how you treated yourself was how other people treated you, and kind of the internal was the external. But if your focus does in fact influence your reality, then your external is a mirror of your internal focus. What do you focus on that can change the internal, therefore the external? So consider this. How would you prepare to take a weekend trip? Say, hey, we're going to be gone for 2 days. And you know what? It's nonstop flight. We're going to fly to Jamaica, and we're going to hang out there for a couple of days. Nothing formal, definitely going to be on the beach the entire time. And then we're going to fly directly back nonstop. Like, how much stuff would you take? Obviously, there's some things like non-negotiables that you would definitely pack, but you probably wouldn't grab that, that gown for that social event, and, that heavy coat that just in case it's cold or whatever. You'll probably pack considerably light. And especially if you're thinking about this, like, okay, we're only going to be gone for 2 days. We're only going to, do this one plane ride there, hang out for 2 days. It's going to be great. We know the hotel is going to have plenty of amenities, and then we're just going to fly back. So we don't have to pack like we're going to be gone forever. But what if you took a month-long trip? Like, how would the packing on that look? Like, that would look a lot different. Say, okay, we're going to leave, California. We're going to fly to Mexico. We're going to hang out there for a few days. And then we're going to fly to the Bahamas. We'll hang out there for a few days. And we're going to go to Turks and Caicos. We're going to go to Jamaica. We're actually going to pull down to St. Lucia for a full day. And we're going to stay 2, 3, 4 days. And then we're going to fly to another island, come back to the Virgin Islands, and then fly back to Mexico, because it's always a blast. We're going to hit up a little bit more tequila while we're there for a couple of days, and then fly back to California. Like, what would that look like? What would that suitcase look like? How much of all your clothes would you be packing? Like, how much preparation would you do from the perspective of, okay, prepare for a month-long trip. You're not going to see your house, versus, hey, we're only going to be on for a couple of days. So just bring just enough. You're totally fine. You'd be much more prepared, right? The short-term destination, just short-term planning preparation. The long-term destination is going to require more data. It's going to require long-term planning and careful preparation. And this is exactly how your mind works. So when you give your mind the data that it needs to connect the now goal to the next goal, if you want rapid, fast, effective change in your life. So I don't know of anyone that comes into high performance human that doesn't say they want these three things. They want it rapid, they want it fast, they want it mind-blowingly fast. They want this to be effective. They don't want this to be a short-term thing. They want to learn these things full out so they can apply them for the rest of their life. This is the framework to that. You have to set a goal that is big, a massive goal. Not in 90 days, I want to hit this number on the scale, or in 16 weeks, I want to be in this, this pair of pants or this dress hanging, and saturate your neurology with your future desire. We talked about future memories and programming them with as much data and implementing as many senses as you possibly can. So what may seem like a big goal to you right now, say you just started out, or you only been in HPH for a month, and you say, okay, this is a massive goal because I've never gotten close to it. I've never been able to drop 20 pounds and keep it off. That's my massive goal. And then you've probably been in for a month and a half, and you've already got to 10 to 12 pounds down. And that goal is starting to look pretty small. Well, it looks small to your mind as well, right? And you're still looking at this as, okay, in this 16 weeks, I'm going to commit to this for 16 weeks, and this is the goal that I have. Again, if you only have short-term goals, your success will also be short-term. The goal for high performance human for every single one of our clients is for them to understand why they're doing what they're doing and learn how their body actually works so they can do this for the rest of their life, right? Fitness, nutrition is going to be something that is going to be somewhat of a focus, maybe not hardcore focus for the rest of your life, but it's going to be something that is attached to you for the rest of your life. And learning how to do this and implementing the principles, manipulating those principles to get what you want, to keep what you want, and to have the opportunity and the option to come back to maybe if you went off the road for a week or so, you know exactly how to get back on. Like, that is the goal of high performance human. So when we're talking about dreaming forward or goal setting, I want you to think about it like this. Your mind wants the data to understand, why are we doing this? We've done this thing for this long. Again, timeline. Anytime that you ask someone, how long have you been doing this for? They're automatically going to do one of two things. They're going to go, and they're going to look kind of this arch. And that's the way their mind is connected to a timeline for them. So if I say, Brooke, how long have you been teaching? And you go, then how you think about a timeline is like this arch. Some people think about it a vertical. So they would have bank and look up and look down, and they see this timeline. One of the most impactful questions you can ever ask someone is, how long have you been doing this for? And it puts them in their mind, like, on this, so I am here and this is the timeline I've been doing this. And it's really interesting to ask people that question, simply because how their body reacts, and they don't even know that their body is reacting that way, right? But when your mind knows, okay, we're changing some stuff, this is probably going to be short term, she's done this before, why are we doing this? Like, what are we focusing on now, and why? Like, there's massive things that we ask in Mindset Go. Like, what do we want? Or why do we want it? What do we want? We get very clear, crystal clear on that. What does success look like? And then we go into the why of, this is my emotional anchor that is tied to the desire that I have. Typically, this is going to be a short-term desire. So in this training, I want to kind of open you up to think ahead of 16 weeks, independent if you're a HPH client or not. What does that look like after 16 weeks? What does that look like 6 months after, a year after? Like, what have you designed that far forward? And sometimes we're like, I don't know what's going to happen. Why would I do that? Well, that's just it. You don't know what's going to happen. But I can tell you what typically happens when someone comes into a program with a short-term mindset is they get short-term results, they get success, they're happy, and then they leave and typically forget like everything they learned. As much as we would love to say we program you for the rest of your life, we can do that, but you can also override that program as soon as you want to. So when your mind knows why you're doing this now, why it's important, and you even give it more data than that, it's like, okay, when this happens. And when this happens, this is going to happen. Think about when you take but and you change it to and. So, and when I drop 20 pounds and when I can get back in that dress, I'm going to do this. And when I do that, I'm going to do this. So you're creating all this data and you're feeding your unconscious this. That's when like the magic really happens. I've talked to a few clients just over the past couple weeks about saturating your neurology with what you want and those future memories. But this is a timeline that you can feel and see. And even when you're setting these goals past these goals, then you are so much more anchored to and connected to. And your mind knows, okay, the reason that we're doing this right now, the reason we're shifting these behaviors, the reason we're changing our internal focus is because we want this externally. Okay, I got it. And when this happens, this is going to happen. And when that happens, this is going to change or shift or whatever. Like you're pre-programming your mind for future success. And you don't have to program your mind for success at the level you think you can achieve. That can be a next level and a next level and a next level. If you're willing to plan that out, and I don't want to say reverse engineer here, but what I will say is that you map the road forward to know that, okay, this is just a milestone. 20 pounds down is just a milestone. That's going to be a time of celebration. And at that time of celebration, I'm going to reward myself with something. Maybe it's a pair of shoes I've been wanting for a long time. And after that, the next step is this. Then you will be automatically rolling out that roadmap of success at a level that right now you may not feel like is achievable. But think about it, we talked about this 3 weeks ago. Like what would 10 years from you, like 10 years from now, if you had a conversation with you 10 years from now, what they would say, who that person would be, and what advice would they give you? The coolest part about that is that you can design that person now and step into that. And if at any time that you feel like you're not setting the bar high enough for the success that you want, for the life that you want to live, you can always rewrite the script, reprogram, reset, and start again.